All right, let's get in this. Trevor, are you adequately depressed?
Yeah.
What's in that?
Yeah, what's in that?
Coors Light.
Coors Light in a coffee mug. Wow. Hello and welcome to another installment of the ZFFFFLFF Football Fantasy Football League Fantasy Football Podcast. This week brought to you by Sleeper. Sleeper, the only fantasy football app made for fans, by fans. This is a show where we take a look into the details and goings on in this league, because we all know our bitch-ass commissioner won't. I'm here with my co-host, as usual, Mr. RJ Wagner. RJ, how are you doing?
Yeah, Ted, I'm doing well. I don't want to, overstate it. I know I want to be respectful for, our guest. I don't want to do anything crazy, really, to celebrate that we're dancing. But, I'm excited. I'm happy that, we're in the playoffs. So cheers. Cheers to you. We're drinking
indeed.
Respectfully today. Some champagne.
Drinking classy,
Mm-hmm.
No vodka
Champagne
without a
flute,
stopper.
even.
That's
exactly.
Good. Wow. It does feel good to be in the playoffs, and we've got 6 people just feeling great, feeling good. Speaking of not in the playoffs, our special guest today, your commissioner, Trevor. Trevor, how's it going, man? Holding up okay? What's that? How are you doing, Trev?
I didn't even want to come on here. I didn't even ask to be on here. I was just told I was coming on and sent a Zoom link. Nothing matters in life. I've got a nice cold coffee. It's the only thing about
coffee.
Only thing I can enjoy these days.
That's not coffee, Trevor.
It's so cold. It's blue like the Rockies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't deserve anything, man.
Wowee. One thing I want to say thank you to our friends at Pixlr Marketing Group for giving us that new logo you saw at the beginning of this. That's our new permanent logo. Say goodbye to the temporary logos we've had.
Thank you, guys.
And just real quick, I want to say thank you to Sir Binks a lot for that triple Binky 2 stinky that hit. I want to make sure we get that out. The Colts and Titans going to overtime plus 1,000
so
odds.
Stinky.
Stinky. Disgusting, impressive.
Like a San Francisco street corner, just stinky, just poop everywhere. Bang bang.
So you want to say thanks to the Bink. But we've got a huge week to recap. Week 13, a lot of playoff seeding, a lot of playoff contention going on. Let's get into the first matchup, one of our bye week contentions. We had Chase beating Kevin 180 to 124. Chase continues his reign of terror with Dak, Jamar, CD scoring more than 25. Mostert was his lowest score at 11. Kevin didn't really have much of a chance. Debo scoring 33 really kept him from just looking embarrassing. But as both of you have been on the other side of a Chase beatdown, do you have anything to say about Chase cementing his spot in a bye week with this win?
Yeah, Chase getting 180, it's starting to get a little ridiculous how that is not out of the ordinary for him anymore. Kevin with Debo, it seems like he just needs a little edge, someone to piss him off a little bit, and he can go off. He doesn't even need to touch the ball that much, but he can make big plays. Jalen had 25, but what's interesting is Brock Purdy with 37, now the favorite for MVP on his bench. Will there be a chance in the playoffs for Brock to be the starting quarterback? I don't know. I haven't really looked at the matchups, but that might be something interesting to look at. But yeah, Chase dominating. Congrats on the cementing the bye week. That's huge. Final 4 for him.
Trev, you got anything about Chase's big win? I know you've lost to him, I think twice this year. Big losses like this.
Yep, lost twice. Chase is my prediction for the champion. I'm gonna put that out there. I think Chase wins it. I voted that there be not a new winner. I think it'll be someone who's won before. Chase has the best chance to do that, and I mean, it figures that on this year where I'm in the last place game for the first time, that I just get more sadness.
The game where the loser wears semen.
Yep.
That us have ejaculated on. There's
since I'm in that game, I think this year is just going to pile on more sadness, and Chase is going to take over as the sole leader for most championships in this fantasy league, so that I won't any longer be tied for that. I think he's going to win his fourth. I mean, his name is chasing number 4. So,
yep. I believe the kids on those shirts would be learning cursive, and about the age that we called Kevin a nerd. Just about that time, about to enter middle school, just now going through puberty, and you have a 50-50 shot of wearing them on your skin.
That's right. All my focus is on week 17.
I saw you picked up Darren Waller.
That's
really sticking it to Monty on that trade.
We're going full circle.
You got one of your trade pieces back.
Back to Darren Waller. Drop the number 1 defense. Don't need them week 17.
Who needs them?
Well, why don't we get into the next matchup? Speaking of trade pieces, we had two of the hottest teams in the league get off my lawn, beating Monty 112-98, the lowest 2 scorers of the week. So Jack really got lucky there, but Jack gets the bye, kicks Monty into having to win 3 in a row to get to the championship. Tyreek with 29 really saved Jack's behind. Monty had some rough performances from Thielen, Swift, Zach Moss, Pooker fuck on the bench.
Pooper fuck.
Wouldn't be enough, but might have been a little bit to give the rest of the team some boost. RJ, how do you feel about get off my lawn?
I do want to first say that since our last podcast, Get Off My Lawn has reached out, and we are now on better terms. I will say, I'm not going to say good. I'm still I was sad. I am sad that he still didn't come on the Zoom for the Monday night game when he was more than capable, and said he just wanted to watch the Pacers game that ended in the middle of the first quarter. Like, he could have come on at any time.
He could have watched the Pacers game on the Zoom, too.
That's what I did. It was that whole Zoom was pretty much seeing either Trevor's reaction be really happy or really sad, which we actually got both, and just catching up with the guys that I haven't talked to. And he's the one person that I haven't talked to in forever, because he just won't get on a Zoom call and say what's up. I think it's a little ridiculous. But yeah, back to the matchup. Ramondre Stevenson getting hurt, massive. One of his running backs. If Kyron Williams doesn't perform to that, he still got 18, which is great. That's around 20. It's going to be questionable, because Patrick Mahomes is not the Patrick Mahomes of past years. And I'm just saying this fantasy-wise. The consistency is just not there with him. But he does have CJ Stroud. Now, not having Tank Dell as well, that he got hurt on the IR for Jack. Will that damage CJ Stroud's performance? I don't know. He just needs to rest up, solidified that bye week. Hopefully his players in real life actually sit out too, because they need to be healthy for him for the fantasy playoffs.
Trev, what do you got to say about this matchup against people you would have beat but did not plan for the bye week?
I mean, I've also not beaten either of these two teams, so huge for Jack to get the bye week, but I just don't think that it's going to be sustainable enough, especially with the two injuries to Stevenson and Tank Dell. I don't know how long Stevenson's out, but I think Tank Dell's on IR. I'm looking at Jack's bench right now, and I don't see anybody who he can confidently plug into those two spots. RJ, like you said, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the 8th best quarterback this year. Right now. 8th ranked quarterback. So
drafted in the 3rd round, right?
Yeah,
like early 3rd.
Early, so that's not even that reliable. AJ Brown's come down to earth a little bit after all those weeks of getting 125 yards. So he's really just going to have to rely on Tyreek Hill to get about 30 points every week. And who knows if the Dolphins are locked into a certain playoff spot, maybe towards the championship, they start resting them a little bit, could be detrimental. But then Monty's got Justin Jefferson potentially coming back. So we'll finally get to see the result of that trade, see how he does. But yeah, I think that's good for Jack for getting the win, getting the bye, but a lot to be worried about there. So
I think both teams actually have some things to worry about. Monty as well. He's dropped, is it 2 or 3 straight?
He's past 8 weeks, he's been 3-5.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
he started off 5-0. Now he's 8-3 or 8-5.
Yeah, we'll get to this in the preview, but big potential bet money coming with that that matchup for Monty.
Money.
Yeah, Zach Moss, Thielen is now ass, which is wild because I tried so hard to trade for him, and I'm sure a lot of people did. I wanted Adam Thielen so bad, and Monty wouldn't give him up, and props to him. But having Justin Jefferson and Cooper Kupp on his bench, if he made that trade, I think I was willing to give up like Kenneth Walker if he gave Adam Thielen and James Conner or something. I don't know how that would have worked out because Kenneth Walker's hurt as well. But JT not being hurt, and then Zach Moss not being the Zach Moss that we saw at the beginning of the season. There are question marks with both of these teams going into the playoffs, I feel like.
Yeah, and
they definitely need to get right.
DeAndre Swift is coming down. I mean, finally makes me better for dropping him after week 1. But
if you go ahead.
He had 5 weeks in a row of double-digit numbers, and then in these last 6 games he's played has only gotten double digits twice.
Whoa.
However, he does have some very good matchups in the playoff weeks. Starting with week 15, he faces a number 28 run defense, number 24 run defense, number 31 run defense for the 3 weeks of the playoff.
Do you remember seeing DeAndre Swift in weeks like 2 through 4? I thought he was going to be RB1, and like it was ridiculous. And yeah, like you said, he's come down to earth a bit, and like you said, his double-digit points, 5 straight. Monty, 5 straight wins to start the season. Since then, maybe some correlation with the whole DeAndre Swift points and him winning. So
right, I mean that. Monty did have, James Conner played well. He was on his bench. Cooper Kupp was on his bench. Justin Jefferson on his bench. Jonathan Taylor on his bench. So
definitely has a deeper team than Jack.
Yeah.
And why don't we keep moving to the next matchup? Our co-host RJ beating Kyle down, showing he belongs in the playoffs. He didn't even need his quarterback to score 20 points because Nico Collins, Sam Laporta, Mike Evans carried the load. We all thought it would be a tough week for Kyle. And, Trevor Lawrence did pretty good in Josh Allen's place, but just not enough. It's kind of fitting that Eckler and Jahmyr Gibbs let Kyle down one last time for such a rough season. RJ, how did it feel to get yourself in the playoffs, shove Kyle back down into the come game, and stay alive.
Kyle's a very respectful opponent, and I think that he manages his team very well. And I've mentioned this a few times on the podcast. Pre-draft, I thought his running back room was the best one in the whole league. I mean, I absolutely loved it. I loved Gibbs, loved Eckler, loved Pollard. I saw a tweet of Eckler's like last 25 rushes, and he had one rush of 6 yards and had multiple -7-yard rushes. I mean, abysmal. It is wild. And for a player that like talks so much on social media about how much he cares for his fantasy football, like the people that have him on fantasy football, he has not done well in crunch time, at least for Kyle. Now we've mentioned Chase's performances against me and Trevor season long. I've averaged 154 points per game against Kyle this year, which was huge. And also last week I mentioned that I've had 5 straight weeks with a different top scorer. Now 6 with Nico Collins being my top scorer, going all the way back to whatever week 8. ETN, Howell, Keenan Allen, Justin Fields, Bijan, and now Nico. That is one thing I absolutely love about my team, is that I do have players that can pick it up. And obviously Sam Laporta, this week I actually started him. Last week I didn't, but he went off last week as well. That could be a huge it factor going forward into the playoffs, I think.
Trevor, on this one, how did it feel to watch RJ beat Kyle down into the come game rather than maybe a close game heartbreak? Which do you think you'd rather feel, like a beatdown like Kyle's or something closer?
Well, it was weird on Sunday because at the beginning of the day, it was looking like I had no chance and Kyle had a chance. So through the 1:00 games, I was literally just looking at Kyle's lineup and RJ's lineup and rooting for Kyle's team and against RJ's team. And then slowly throughout the day, Kyle's team looked worse and worse and mine looked better and better. So it was like, I never had both scenarios where it was like, oh, Kyle's doing good, I'm doing good, I'm rooting for both. It was like literally like this. I was like, all right, now I have to root for my team. But yeah, Eckler's been disappointing. RB 27. I know he was out for a few weeks, but he hasn't really played against any bad run defenses so far. The only game he's played in where the run defense is in the green was week 9 against the Jets, number 26, when he scored 20 points. And week 17, he plays against the 32nd ranked run defense.
Did they wait? Who did they play this week?
In the come game,
did they play
Patriots number 15?
Yeah, they did. It was a booty game, 6-0.
Yeah, who did the Jets play? Because I kept mixing up. I thought the Chargers
Jets played the Falcons.
Jets, yeah, okay.
But I mean, RJ's team is coming along strong. You're my sleeper. As someone who has
not the app
has gotten to
not the app.
Built
by fans for fans.
Not the app, but my sleeper team for this year's championship.
Definitely getting hot at the right time.
As someone who's been in the championship game, even won one with a terrible record, one of my championships came when I think I had 4 regular season wins. I was literally the last seed. 8th place, won the championship. That was the year after is when we made that decision to cut it to 6 playoff teams. Last year, I only had 6 wins and made it to the championship before losing to Teddy. As someone who's been there with a bad record, getting into the playoffs and then making it to the championship, I could definitely see a championship run with your team there, RJ. A lot of top players everywhere. They're playing well now. Nico Collins, I think, is going to be really good now that Tank Dell's out. So,
yeah, that was the game script. I don't know how much you saw of the Texans. Nico has always been sort of that slot guy underneath, kind of like a Keenan Allen volume guy. But every time I turned on the Texans game, which was like 3 times, was like a 40 or 50-yard catch to Nico Collins immediately, like him actually going deep. It's kind of like he took over that Tank Dell role, which would be huge for me. That he's definitely my best transaction, best pickup early on in the season. Big fan of Nico Collins, and I even drafted him on my underdog year-long team. Nico Collins was drafted on my team, so I did have him on my radar early.
So moving on to the last matchup, I know it's the matchup we all want to talk about. Thrilling matchup. I beat Trevor by 0.52 points. Absolute roller coaster for the week. Trevor thought I was going to demolish him. He thought he had a chance. Monday Night Football comes. Extra point, field goal. Trevor goes down. DK and Derrick Henry kept me alive, but I actually gave the game ball this week. I give it to Trey McBride for stepping up big and getting 19 points. He's everything. He's everything in a Tyler Conklin type player I wanted. And then for Trevor had a rough start, but then the Broncos started moving. The Colts started moving. Kamara got some big points in the second half of those 1:00 games. But Trevor just ended up losing. Maybe it was just destiny. A lot of things could have gone his way. Literally, if a player got like a 2-yard catch, if one of his players got one, if one of my players didn't get one, Trevor would have won. Really makes you think about half PPR, how much it goes into affects the game. Because, say Michael Pittman caught a 2-yard screen pass, Trevor would have won. But Trev, how did you feel about this one? Sorry for skipping you, RJ. He's got a lot to say.
Yeah, I don't have much to say.
It's just so sad, man. I mean, what'd you say it was? 0.52?
Actually, 0.54.
0.54. I lost to RJ by 0.7 earlier this year. 2 losses by less than a point, both coming down to Monday night when you guys each had a player and I had none. Both coming down to the fourth quarter. 30 seconds left in the game. That missed kick, I was so excited. And then Trevor Lawrence gets hurt. Sad for him. Jaguars have one drive with their backup quarterback, and he gets them down into field goal range. I was looking because for some sort of way to grieve. I was looking at
grieve.
The seven stages of grief, and I found a few different ones. This one I'm looking at now says it's shock, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, testing, and acceptance. I didn't feel shock. I didn't feel denial. I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel bargaining. I just feel depression and suicidal thoughts. And that's all I feel right now.
Oh, gosh.
I just don't know if there's anything left. This is my whole life, and now I have nothing. So, like I said, I think I said on the live stream that for what year is this in fantasy? 14. In the previous 13 years, I'd gotten top 4 in all of them, and now I'm in the last place game. And I just don't know if there's anything left for me.
Yeah, I didn't know that fact, but every year you had hope, but now there's just no hope.
Top 4 finish, 13 straight years, in the year I get to watch the most footballs.
You ended in last place one year, but you did win the championship.
Yeah.
So asterisk next to that. But yeah, December 4th, having your fantasy football hopes completely taken from you that early with so much football left. It has to absolutely crush you to your core.
I mean, it's just like if Rashee Rice fumbles that ball in the Sunday night game, I win. If he didn't make that catch, I win. If Russell Wilson doesn't throw an interception when they're trying to drive and win the game, if he throws a touchdown, I win. It's just.
But guess what, Trevor? You didn't. One thing I will say, have you reached out to your fellow come game participant to form some sort of support group? You guys might, lean on each other until you have to play each other.
Lean on me.
Exactly. Some sort of fraternal support group.
Have you reached out to Kyle?
No, it'll be, we haven't said anything about it. How we're in the last place game. He told me that, he was in Philadelphia.
Has anyone heard from Kyle? Has he sent any messages?
He told me he was in Philadelphia.
Okay.
He was going to the Rivers Casino where I lost so much money before the NFC Championship game. So maybe he got some of my money back. And then that's the other thing too, is like, if you would have told me going into that Monday night game that Brandon McManus would only have one field goal, I would have loved my chance. How was that game? How did that game score so many points? It was just PAT, which I put so much money on Brandon McManus over 1.5 field goals.
How much money? Are you comfortable saying how much?
Hundreds. closer to 1,000 than 0. And
on 2 field goals. Wow.
On 2 field goals. And he doesn't get that. And I still lose. The only positive to take out of that is I'm now under watch to be in the DraftKings VIP program. So I got to place a lot of money for under watch for those VIP employees. But
you get some sick shit.
They're going to be wondering what the fuck I was thinking with Brandon McManus, because I think I'd placed about 10 different bets for him.
Well, why don't we keep this rolling? We've got to keep it going. Oh, it's time for Kyle's stat of the week. Kyle was hitting us with some all-time worst and best records. Now, this one is very fitting because in 2015, Monty was 1-12. So Trevor, it really isn't that bad. You could have experienced only 1 win. And then you and RJ.
All the shit I've been through, man. All the quarterback injuries, like fucking Justin Jefferson out. Mark Andrews plays, I win. David Njoku had fucking 2 catches in the 4:00 games. I'm gonna fucking bet so much money on every single one of Kyle's players to score a touchdown in week 17. That's been my mojo this year. Every time on the sports book I bet on the team that I need to lose, I'm gonna just bet I'm gonna parlay it all too. All of Kyle's players to score a touchdown.
Yeah, it's gonna be a shame not to see Alvin Kamara and Pacheco in the playoffs. Pacheco has been a great runner. I've really liked watching him, and it's a shame that we won't be able to get him. And I thought Trevor had a really good strategy picking up all those running backs and making Teddy start Samaje P.
Yeah, that was so great. Samaje had 1 point.
But if
that's all he needed.
If Samaje didn't have that 1 rush and 5 receiving yards, Teddy would have lost. So that was a huge start by Teddy.
Mm-hmm. Well, getting back into the next segment, as I was saying, Monty was 1-12 in 2015. RJ and I were both 2-11. RJ in 2020, me in 2012. No offense to RJ, but I think Monty in 2015 and me in 2012 probably didn't set our lineups that much or make any plays. So Trev, it isn't that bad. You're not all time bad. You're just bad this year. So some people might say, get over it.
2020, I had 87 ad drops and I still won 2 games. So I tried my hardest.
And then for all-time best record, who is surprised that it's Chase at 11-3? But I also want to give honorable mention to all of us 3. All of us have gone 10-3. So that was before they added an extra game. So who's to say we wouldn't have all gotten 11-3? That's pretty cool, Trevor. That might cheer you up, right? You know, being at the top of the all-time leaderboards.
Trevor, when's the
All
last
right.
time you won?
Junior year of high school.
What was the
buy-in?
What was the pot? Was the pot total $100?
Probably.
And you probably split it. So you probably won close to $100 in this league. What's a buy-in this year? I forget. 200?
200.
Oh.
But with inflation, those 100, who's to say?
Yeah, that makes it worse, actually. I think.
So going to our next segment here, Trevor. This was a fun one for you, Trevor. I want to see what you voted. Brandon McManus scored 7 in the last 8, or he scored 7 points in the last 8 of his 11 games. Will he on Monday Night Football score 7 and send you, Trevor, to the cum? I just want to know what you voted on that one.
I voted yes, he would. I'm a big reverse jinx guy. A lot of people
You
give a lot
are
of
a
shit
big
talk
reverse
to
jinx.
it. I'll admit it.
I meant to bring this up. Trevor at 2:34 in the Monday game sent me, that was a very fun matchup. I love fantasy football and love life. So Trevor trying really hard to reverse jinx this whole time, but it didn't work out. 5 people voted yes, and Brandon McManus did score 7 points. The reverse jinx didn't.
I voted no.
DK Metcalf 3 touchdowns. Cowboys defense -1. If I didn't start a defense, I would have won.
But you did. You scored the hottest defense in the league against a struggling Seahawks team. I checked the stardom sit-em. It said Cowboys must start. All of the Seahawks players sit 'em. DK Metcalf sit 'em. Tyler Lockett sit 'em. Geno sit 'em. Quite an interesting turn of events. RJ, you voted no. Do you want to explain why you voted no on Brandon McManus? You didn't believe it?
No, it was just I just like to go with the math. Vegas had the total at 39. The optimal score. It pretty much had Brandon McManus right at 5-6. So the trend is your friend. So I expected it to go under, but the trend of him, scoring more than 7, that was more powerful.
Mhm.
So that happened. Which I am, I feel bad for Trevor. I do, because I've been there. We've both been there. We know what it feels like when our fantasy season's over. But I'm just glad that I'm stress-free and I'm actually in the playoffs, when 3 weeks ago I was dead set on the come game, but winning back-to-back weeks.
Out.
Yeah.
If there's one thing that helps with the grieving, it's I thought about all the other champions have gotten last before, so
Hey, welcome to the club.
Welcome. I'd love to see.
Had to happen at some point.
There's the champion circle. I want to know what the cum club looks like.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys hear that bell? I think that means our sponsors, Taking the Stigma. We have a quick message from them. Trevor, I want you to watch that very closely. Just so you know, you are alone. And Grover Stewart believes in you. But we'll be right back with another second half of our podcast. We've got a Week 14 preview. We have some interesting news segments from our co-host. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Oh!
We'll be right back.
Trevor,
no.
That's not a butter knife.
Trevor, no.
I hope you know that it won't always feel this way.
It won't always feel this hard.
I hope you show yourself grace.
I hope you continue to heal.
I hope you experience joy.
I hope you never give up on yourself.
I hope you know you can accept help from others.
I hope you know we're together.
I hope you know you are loved.
I hope you know that being vulnerable is a superpower.
I hope you surround yourself.
with people who unconditionally love and understand you.
I hope you know
Your worth.
Your value.
you are enough.
I hope you know your feelings are valid.
I hope you continue to see it through.
I hope you enjoy life because you only get one.
You are not alone.
You are not alone.
Kicking
The stigma.
Welcome back to the ZFFFLFF Pod. I want to thank you for being here. We're going to get right into the Week 14 preview.
And as we begin the preview of Week 14 of the 2023 ZFFFL, I must remind you of our great sponsorship over at our ZFFFL ASICS Sportsbook, ASICS Footwear. Now, disclaimer, this is what I got on my desk. I didn't I just want to let you know this is what I got on the desk. It's another poem. Trevor's fantasy team took quite a dive. Teddy's squad sword made him feel alive. But here's a trick, a cure that's neat. ASICS shoes to lift his defeat. With gel soles to ease his sorrow's weight, Trevor will bounce back feeling first rate. His team may have flopped in the fantasy football race, but in comfy kicks, he'll find his happy place. Go get your Gel Venter 9 extra wides now. Currently 20% off with promo code ZFFFL. That's what I got.
Wow. ASICS is looking out for you, Trevor. Have you been wearing the gel contendos to raise your spirits?
Every day I sleep in them.
Well, why don't we get into the Week 14 preview? Our first matchup, I'm calling this the just here to have fun matchup because there's nothing else. There's no point to it. It's the Trevor versus Kyle matchup. Both 4-8, both already in the come race. There's really no reason for these teams to play. It's kind of sad. I honestly think, you could look at the perspective. I think both of their teams really need a confidence boost going into the 3 weeks of the playoffs before they play. Kyle has to pick, it's the story of the whole year. He's got his running backs. Which ones will he pick? Who will perform? Who won't? Really needs just relying on Josh Allen. Trevor's team's looking sharp on paper. Kamara, Diggs, Pittman, Pacheco, they're all looking pretty sharp. RJ, how much do you have to say about this meaningless matchup?
Yeah, it's interesting what they want to do. I don't know if they want to put everyone on the bench so no one's locked into a position in case of a big-time injury so they can drop them just because this game means nothing, or do they have some integrity, trying to go for more points scored or whatever. Regardless, it's a toss-up. Did you too? While I was speaking, I'm glad you're in the come game, you piece of shit. Piece of shit. You filthy whore.
I'm just previewing this game.
Anyways, ASICS Sportsbook has this as a pick'em, but it's very questionable on how these lines are going to be out there because the intentions of some players not starting their lineup to their fullest potential off of potential injury. It's kind of up in the air. So the book's still questioning on, these are just early lines on what they want to come out with. I'm not really sure, or when they want to come out with them. But yeah, it's right now a pick 'em.
Trev, how you feeling about this one? What's your psychology? Are you taking yourself? Are you taking Kyle? You're going to bench everyone.
This is the come preview game too.
Preview.
They're going to play back-to-back times.
This will affect who has home field advantage in that come game. So Trevor, how does
that is true
affect your playing?
That's right. I'm a total wins guy. throughout the whole league. I'm going to start the best lineup I can and hope to get some confidence coming into the come game. So I'm going to be starting my full lineup and hoping for that 5th win. But it will be an interesting preview to see what's to come. What's to come. But
you'll be wearing it.
I don't know if Kyle's planning on doing the same, but I'm going to go and if it's a pick 'em, I'm going to say I win. I beat Kyle the first time. I got confidence going into the come game. So give me that victory. Give me the 5 wins.
I like you still got the hope. You
Give me the
don't want to be the
7
bottom feeder.
That's right.
Well, let's get into the next matchup. This one, another pretty meaningless matchup. I'm calling this the tune-up game. It's between Get Goff My Lawn and Chase. Chase is on the rise. Jack is kind of faltering. Both teams already have the bye. No real reason to put their players out there. Maybe they could try and make a statement. Maybe Jack feels disrespected that Chase is doing so hot. He wants to put himself out there. He's got no Tank Dell, but, as the whole season, Tyreek, A.J. Brown, Mahomes. Chase's team, he just needs a couple people to go nuclear, and then the rest of his roster will take care of business. RJ, what is the sportsbook saying about this one?
The sportsbook itself, for the first time ever, it has an inconclusive line. That's what it came back with me with, because it does not matter what they do. They're both getting a bye. It couldn't be more meaningless for either one. I could definitely see both teams taking out players on their lineup. They have enough wins, settling. But looking into these teams individually, right now Jordan Addison and Jack's flex is wild with to now do it with Justin Jefferson back is interesting. Because he was nothing when Justin Jefferson played. Just shows the lack of depth, and he picked up Christian Watson, who apparently was just a hamstring injury, but he acted like he completely tore his leg off in that game. And Ramondre Stevenson, I thought he did snap his leg, but I guess not. I haven't really looked into it. I didn't do much research on this preview. Who gives a shit? Game doesn't matter. Line's inconclusive. Let's say pick 'em. I assume you'd have Chase. Let's say Chase minus 5.5. Trev, what do you have on that line?
Well, I think I'm gonna say there are some things to play for here, because you get the 1 seed, the regular season winner. Both have the same record there at the top. Both can get to double-digit wins. Jack, I think, is behind Chase by about 60 and the points for. So if he blows them out, he can get the regular season title for most points scored. So I'm not for anybody benching players here this week. Let's keep it.
That's integrity right there.
You could be wearing this.
Let's keep it.
In a few months, you could be wearing this.
What is that?
Hard. It's a piece of tissue. You could be wearing this on a shirt.
I want to say sorry to our viewers, especially.
I'm nervous. What's in that tissue?
You could be wearing this.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary. But I think that Jack kind of got a kiss of death here, picking up Alexander Madison. He saw what that did to me, what that did to my team this year. I drafted him 4th or 5th round, I think.
Yeah.
Now he's on Jack's team. Is he a bad luck charm? I don't know. Something to be worried about, Jack. But I'll take Chase minus 5.5. I think Chase's team is much better, and
line's minus 9.5.
Whoa,
9.5.
Yep.
I'll still take Chase.
Line's minus 13.5.
Chase.
21.5.
Chase.
54 3/4.
Chase.
Wow.
I think Chase kills him.
Confidence.
I think Chase wants that number 1 overall seed. I think he
Chase did beat him by 68 this past week.
There you go. I think Chase wants that number 1 seed. I think Chase wants to avenge the loss he had to him the first time around. So I think Chase wants to stack up as many regular season #1 seeds as he can and plays his best lineup, and I think Chase comes out on top. Home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
Definitely going to be one to see if they even try. Now, our next matchup, speaking of another pointless matchup, we have
The winner of that game will also have the second best ever record in the league with the 10-4.
I'd say 10-3 is better than 10-4.
Well,
true.
I whatever.
Like
that's all the
percentage.
same.
Winning percentage.
Yeah, I know.
So our next matchup,
those count as 11-3. We're 11-3.
I'm calling this the angling matchup because there's a lot of angling that could be done here. Because if RJ loses, he'll probably be playing Monty. If RJ wins, there's a chance he could be playing Kevin. Really up to him who he wants to set up at his matchup. Does he want Chase? Does he want Jack? Very interesting to see how each person, plays to try and, figure out their final seed in the playoffs. For RJ, your team is getting hot at the right time. Can Nico Collins keep it up? Can you find a quarterback that really gives you 20 points? You've been doing well. For Kevin, he's really just relying on Hurts, Kelsey, needs Debo and Pupa Fakua to step up. But yeah, RJ, what's the sportsbook saying about this one?
This line is currently at a pick'em. Currently, me individually, I am still questioning what I want to do because if I win and move up to that 5th seed, I will be playing the 1 seed, who I think Chase will win the game against Jack, and I don't want to play Jack. And then do I want to lock the players in, which I've already spoken to the commissioner and my opponent actually on whether it's allowed or not for me to sit all my players. I both heard back yes. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Right now the line is a pick'em. Yeah, I don't know.
Wait, you'd rather play Chase than Jack?
I'd rather play Jack than Chase. I don't know if I said the opposite, but I think Chase will beat Jack, moving Chase into the 1 seed. And if I beat Kevin, I'd move into the 5 seed, being on his side of the bracket.
A lot to think about. Trev, what do you how do you think this matchup will go?
Well, I think you can't really say who will be the 1 or 2 seed with that Jack and Chase matchup. Probably both of them.
You just said Chase. You said Chase.
No,
Chase 54 and a quarter.
Right.
You
well,
said
that's
Chase
what I think.
54 and a quarter.
That's what I think. I also thought that Alexander Madison would have a good year. So what does my opinion have any validity to do with anything?
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is you can't really plan ahead for that second week in the playoffs right now, with it all being based on this Chase versus Jack matchup. So really you should be thinking about who you want to be playing in that first week of the playoffs, which is probably either going to be Monty or Kevin.
And I don't know who I want to play. I've thought about it, and I have no idea. I think they're one and the same to me, which is wild because I thought Monty's team was so much better early on in the season, but the fall off. I also just don't want the heartbreak playing Monty again. It'll be interesting since I've only played Kevin once, and I'm pretty sure he beat me fairly bad. Monty and I's margin of victory, I think, is less than 2. I think it's 1 for both games individually, 1 or less. So I have no idea. I have no idea who I want to play. Who would you rather play, Trevor? I'm curious.
Well, I beat Kevin twice, so I'd rather play Kevin. I think
I'd rather play.
I think Monty's team is going to be a lot different with Justin Jefferson. So.
That's true. I keep forgetting about that.
Yeah, moving into our next matchup, speaking of Monty, we've got what I'm calling the money matchup. Big implications for some big bets in this one. I'm playing Monty. Monty's got, I would say I'd rather play Kevin because Monty's got a tough team. I'm looking at it right now. Christian McCaffrey, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Those three could possibly all put up 40 points in a given week. I could see that happening. But, my team's really floundering. I got to the playoffs, but at what cost? Derrick Henry's shaken up. Aaron Jones is, for all accounts, dead. Saquon is really doing nothing. This is it's tough to look at my team and think they could do anything in the playoffs, but at least I made it there. Nothing to fear. RJ, what's the sportsbook saying on this one?
The sportsbook does have a line for this one. It has Monty at -7.5. Binky -150, Teddy -105. Like I said, I completely forgot about Justin Jefferson. That is massive for Monty's team. Pretty much being able to plug in a solidified wide receiver one. Now, I will say solidified. Let's remember, Kirk Cousins isn't there. Josh Dobbs, different quarterback. Who knows?
He is coming back from an injury.
Still Justin Jefferson. Yeah, exactly. So who knows? Taysom Hill is either 15 or 1. It seems like every week, but more than ever, he gets 15 more than 1 now. He has Pooper Fuck in his flex, which is wild. But if it comes into old time Cooper Cup, then that would be massive. But yeah, the book has -7.5.
Wow, Trev, what do you think about this matchup?
Well, I'm looking a lot at that preseason Monty win total of over under 8.5, which
that was one thing I was gonna mention later.
Okay.
Come on, Trev, we were teasing it.
I'm just
to it.
I'm just saying I'm looking at it, but so I'm gonna have to go with Teddy.
Wow.
No particular reasons.
Interesting.
No particular reasons.
Not
Just
even trying to reverse jinx anything.
Nope.
Oh no,
Nope.
Well, that brings us.
The reverse jinx is dead.
That's the week 14 preview. That brings us to our next segment, RJ's fun facts.
No, actually, this isn't. No. Yeah, I mean, this isn't a new segment, but just some things to look out for leading into this week. Yeah, sure. Things to look out for leading into this week. This isn't specifically this week, but I thought it was something to mention now that the playoffs are set, at least the people in it. Sorry, Trevor. That I am 1-8 against playoff teams this year, pending one game against Kevin. So
and that one team is me, right?
And that one team was you, yes.
So you're 0-8 against the top 5 seeds.
Correct. Which helped out a lot for the tiebreakers. That makes me not have to worry.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like a small fish in a big pond.
Right there with you.
I was that big fish in the small pond with the little people, with the people in the come game. But now I just got put into the big pond, and now I'm fucking tiny. So that's one thing to look out for. Now, this week, we've talked a lot about my points against being massive this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I looked into it. The record for most points against was me last year at 1,792.06. And so far, I have 1,647.5, which means Kevin has to score over 144.5 for me / him / whatever to break that record, my opponents to break that record for me of most points against. That might be a sportsbook odd boost on this week's sportsbook. I don't know.
The
sportsbook hasn't thought about it, but That is something. It's wild because we talked a lot about it, but I don't remember talking about it last year at all when my points against was so high, over 135, I believe. That's insane.
It definitely feels like this year's been worse. I'm surprised you need that many points against this week to break it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, I wonder what the record is. Like, I wonder how much Kevin needs to beat it. It was way more than what I thought. I don't remember. And I made the playoffs. I think I was the 5th seed last year. So that was interesting. One other thing, Ted, your points scored. I didn't type this out. I wrote this one down.
I'm looking at it right now.
I have horrible handwriting. So Ted, your points scored is 1327.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Last year, the lowest was 1531. Okay.
To be fair, that would be number 3 this year, 1531.
But that's for the whole season. That's for 17 games, 1531.
Oh.
Like, let's wait. Yeah.
Hey,
So you would need to score 204 points to get to that lowest.
Ooh.
But the lowest last year was Kyle, who ended the regular season in 3rd place. 3rd place.
What?
He had the lowest point scored. See, this is what's massive about having a podcast, how we don't talk about, like, we don't really realize these things. Kyle had the lowest points scored last year and finished the regular season in 3rd. The whole Division II scored more than him, but all of us finished in a worse place in the regular season than him. Because he finished with is this right? I might need to double check this. A 9-5 record. Can someone pull that up?
Yeah, let me check right now.
9-5 with the lowest point scored. Do I have that right?
How many points scored?
1531.
That's insane, if that's true.
Yeah.
What was Kyle? Was he
this
Houston
last year?
Massage Oilers?
Yeah,
Yeah, he was 9-5
with 1531.
Wow.
That is crazy.
That is insane.
And then bringing this back to 2021, which, did we still have half-point PPR? At 2021, is this the 2nd year or is this the 3rd year with half-point PPR? Do we know this?
This is the 2nd, I believe.
So this was no PPR?
Yeah.
2021? Wow. So no PPR. Last place had 1370. Okay. So still more than you now, but only by 43 points. I thought it was still half-point PPR, but that's not even half-point PPR. And it was Chase and Monty both scored more than you, but had records of 4-10 and 5-9. So the luck that you have is insane. And obviously the luck that Kyle had last year is absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
But
and then,
you obviously, so you're gonna have the least points scored record for half-point PPR in the league, obviously. I mean, you're not going to score 204.
You don't know that.
I think there might be a book boost on that if you're going to score 204 points.
Kevin needs how much to break the points against record? 144?
144.5.
I looked it up. I don't think he's scored that yet this year, so he probably won't break that record.
Wow. So those are some of the things to look out for this week. And I wanted to give my opinion solely based on what I consider math, the breakdown. I know Teddy hates the breakdown.
Breakdown's a piece of shit. It means nothing.
Who I think would be the sleeper. Trevor said me. I see so much volatility with Jack and Chase, which is wild to say, because in the last 5 weeks, Charity's here.
Hey, Charity.
What does she think about the breakdown?
What do you think about the breakdown? Do you like it or hate it? You like it? See, she likes it. She knows what's up. Here, you want a glass of champagne? We're in the playoffs, unlike Trevor.
Base the playoffs off the breakdown.
You'd be 6.
Can you go through the breakdown?
Yes,
I'll go.
I was going to go through the breakdown. So the volatility that I was talking about, in the last 6 weeks, really the last 4, Jack has had 2 7-0 weeks, and then a 1-6 and 2-5.
He's had 2 1-6s.
No. Oh, in the last 5 weeks. Yeah. 2 1-6s, a 2-5, and 2 7-0s. I said last 4, or at least I thought I said that. Chase has had a 7-0, 6-1, 0-7, and then 7-0, 7-0, 1-6. So Chase is obviously one of the top teams, having all those 7-0s and a 6-1. But having that 0-7, 1-6 is kind of iffy to look out for. So my dark horse, and I really hate saying this, is a new guy, Kevin.
I'd call him a light horse.
Light horse. Oh, yeah, you're right. Not a dark horse.
He would be upset if you called him a dark horse.
You're right. A light horse. In the last 6 weeks, he has a 2-5, and then everything was above 500, 4-3, 5-2, 6-1. And I see more consistency than what I initially thought until I did this research into the league, or like the whole breakdown. So that is wild. And then I really tried. The league history doesn't have post-year breakdowns, but I would have loved to see where someone's breakdown was 30-61.
Okay.
And is dead last by 8 games and is in the playoffs.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Trevor, you've got 12 more wins in the breakdown than me. But I have one more. I have 2 more actual.
And Trevor's right below me. And you would think that discrepancy would maybe be a little bit bigger. That is 6-game difference. The difference between Teddy and Kyle in the breakdown is 8 games. The biggest difference between 2 people. Like Teddy is dead last.
Trevor, you look disgusted.
Full breakdown. Jack actually has a pretty large lead, 5 games. I consider that pretty large over Kevin. And then it really goes Kevin, Chase, Monty, me, all 4 within 4 games. So we're all pretty close. And then a 6-game drop off to Trevor. And then a 4-game drop off to Kyle, and then an 8-game drop off to Teddy. Absolute nuts. I mean, you can't really say anything else but luck with that type of.
No, I think you can call it. I played the players that would win the game that I was playing. I'm not focused on beating the whole team, all that. I'm just focused on winning the game I'm playing. And, the breakdown doesn't matter. It's like, do we look at the yards a team scores in a game? No, we care about the points, the wins. No one
But
cares.
usually those correlate. Usually the yards, touchdowns would correlate. Usually the breakdown correlates. You are the anomaly. Probably, I couldn't think of another situation where we've had. And again, I wish our league, maybe Sleeper does it, would show the breakdown historically. I wish I could go back and see that, but I couldn't find it anywhere.
Maybe we need to call up the stat man.
Absolutely nuts. Charity's here to celebrate. She wants a glass. But yeah, maybe the stat man could pull that up. That would take a while, I think, because he'd have to go through every single week, every single game individually. But yeah, I thought that was insane.
It makes me sick. It makes me want to throw up.
In any other year, Trevor, you would be clinched already. Maybe not clinched. Maybe you would need that win against Kyle, but it would be a win in your end situation. And Teddy would be for sure out, and it would be you and Kyle battling for that last spot in. But this isn't that year.
If I had one more point in our second game against both of you, I'd be clinched right now.
Yeah.
That makes me sick. All right, my sleeper is Teddy with that luck.
Wow. I'll take it.
4 in a row.
I would feel like Trevor in the year 2016 if I were to come out on top. Just being absolute garbage. And then
it wasn't that soon ago. It was.
I'm calling this. I want to see the breakdown from 2016 to see Trevor's eighth place
I haven't
champion
won since 2014.
Oh, was it that long ago? Oh, never mind.
I won 2012, 13, 14.
Well, that's
So are we good to move on?
we've got more. We've got more.
I wasn't even 18. I wasn't even 18 since the last time.
What do we got more? We have a little bit of time. We have a.
Oh no, I was just going to say another fun thing is this year I'm leading the league in transactions like usual. Oh. I have 55 transactions. Second place is Trevor with 46. The last time I had that little amount of transactions was 10 years ago. 2013. 2013, I had 49 transactions. This year, I have 55. Every single year, I mean, to put that in comparison, I had double that just last year. I had 110. I had 110 transactions. And in 2013, I had 49. I think that speaks to this being one of my best drafts. And if only Nick Chubb didn't get hurt, and if I hit on a quarterback, I think I wouldn't even be leading the league in transactions. And I've been first or second every single year that we've had this league, or that we have data going back to. One thing that's crazy that I thought was a fun stat, 2012, first year that we have data, right? Trevor, you won. Kyle, you came in second. I had 44 transactions, which was the most at that time. Monty had 38. Trevor won with 6 transactions the whole year.
Wow.
Isn't that nuts?
It's a good
Kyle,
draft.
That feels like middle school to me.
And Kyle came in second.
That was freshman year.
That feels like freshman year.
Kyle came in second with 3 transactions. The whole year. Did that mean he started the same defense no matter who they played? It is wild what we thought of doing back then. But yeah, I thought that was a really fun stat.
That's a great stat. That's good to see. I like to think it's interesting. RJ, you're number 1 in transactions. Trevor, you're number 2. Number 3 is Kevin. Number 4 is Jack. Jack's in the top half of transactions.
That's surprising.
So, you know, a lot of people get on Jack for nothing, but it seems like he's pretty into it.
Who's last?
Do you have any last? Kyle and I are tied at 19, which I think is fitting.
Yeah, I have a few more things. We might need to come back and get to those. No, I do. And then wait a second. There's a giveaway.
Oh,
Sportsbook giveaway.
Okay, I'm hooked.
Giveaway.
I'm hooked.
So stay right there, people. We'll be right back with some more.
We'll be right back. And, you know, if you think your season's ended, there's no fun. The sportsbook is always open. You can still win on the A6 ZFFFLFF Sportsbook. So don't be glum. Don't be sad. Don't kill yourself. We'll be right back.
Some say the world has never been more divided, more self-centered.
Gosh, thank you so much.
More uncaring.
Thank you. Oh, miss. Thank you.
That we've never been more disconnected. But through our windows, we're able to see so much good every day. And it's clear that a little kindness is never really little.
Welcome back. We've got another jam-packed section. There's giveaways. There's still things to win for even the losers like you, Trevor. RJ, why don't you take us into
You could win this
extra segment?
No, I just thought this. I thought this half of the podcast we could maybe revisit some old polls that we had in our in the beginning of the year and maybe talk about them just a little bit. It doesn't have to be too long. I brought them up already to our commissioner and I believe Kevin. I don't know who else was on the call. Maybe Chase as well. When I brought these up for the Monday night game, Monday night nightmare for Trevor. And I would just love to discuss them to the whole league, you, Teddy, to talk about on the podcast. So we had a poll early in the season. Will we have a 6-win team in the come game, which has never happened before? We've never had a 16-win. It will not happen. It is official. It will not happen. Once Trevor lost, it would not happen. But the whole league, not the whole league, 5 out of the 8 believe that we would have a 6-win team in the come game. And I do believe we talked about this on one of our first podcasts, this poll, and all 3 of us said we're the 3 that said no. I believe we spoke about that. So I thought that was interesting that majority said yes, and it will not happen. Will this year's champion be a first-time winner? Trevor,
50%.
You said it was 4 out of 7. We only had 7 votes. Probably Jack didn't vote.
Yep.
4 said yes. 3 said no. I said yes, Jack, Kevin, or Monty. And if I were to revisit that now, it is a 50-50 shot when it comes down to who has a bye week. 50-50 shot when it comes down to who's on or who's in the playoffs. I think it's guaranteed. I don't know if you can jump Kevin, Teddy, that it's a 50-50 shot when it comes down to the quarterfinals. That I'm going to face someone that has not won. You're going to face someone that has not won, and so on. What do you guys think now? I first voted yes, and that was mainly thinking that Monty or Jack would win. With Jack's injuries, Chase's resurgence, I look okay having you and your luck. I think I might want to change my vote to no. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm curious.
I voted no, sticking with no.
Wow. I'm saying yes, just pure numbers wise. Keep the feelings out of it. The 4 people that really have a strong chance. Besides, I could see RJ or I getting lucky and stealing a wild card weekend win. But the 4 people that really have a chance is Chase, Jack, Kevin, and Monty. And I just think the numbers there. Chase has got to go nuclear again for 2 weeks. But like you said, he struggled where he has high highs but low lows. I could see one of those low lows being canceled out by one of their high highs.
So if you had to pick a winner right now, you might say Chase. Yes, you think Chase would win. But if you had to pick one of the 3 people that haven't won yet to win, who would you pick? Trevor, who would you pick? I'm curious. On the count of 3, on the count of 3, let's all say the person.
Wait. Why, Teddy, why do you say that those are the top 4 that could win?
I don't think RJ and I have RJ is better of a chance than me, but I could see him having a stinky week against the Binky, and those teams do think
RJ has more points scored than Kevin.
But Kevin's been so much more consistent. I think Kevin's team's a little hotter.
Okay.
You think Kevin's team's hotter? I think you misspoke. I feel like there's not a, besides Chase, whose team is always scalding hot. I feel like I have the second hottest team right now.
I think your team's hot like when, say someone is sort of a scrawny Indian girl, but then turns into a voluptuous woman. I think
Alia
that's
Hassan?
the sort of hot. Well, yeah. I think that's the sort of hot that you
Shout out,
are.
Alia.
They've been 10s for years, where they've been doing
Chase
it.
is
the whole
always
time.
a 10.
Yeah,
Chase has always been a 10.
But that's how I'm saying the hotness. Even though, whew.
All right, what are we voting on? What are we saying?
Who, if you had to pick one of the new champions to win, who would it be? Jack, Kevin, Monty. Think of it, and on a count of 3, we'll all say it at the same time. Okay, ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Monty.
Binky.
Yep.
Okay, we all agree. Nothing
Wow.
to talk about.
Wow.
All right. Well, so this was another one of the polls. Do you believe Trevor will go 0-4, and do you believe he will be in the last place game? One person said no, 0-4, yes to the come game. Let's forget the 0-4. 7 people said yes, come. One person said no, come.
Wow.
It was the start for Trevor that hurt him. He had no foundation to go off of. He got on that hot streak in the middle of the season, but he really needed just one win in that foundational first 3-4 games to help him out. But having no foundation, it's really hard to climb back from such a hole at the start of the season.
Yep. It was Burrow playing hurt at the beginning and Kamara being suspended that killed me.
Yeah. I loved your Kamara pick, and I actually think you probably picked him at the right time in the draft because you picked him fairly late. He went later than he probably should have, but
round 7, I think.
Yeah. Definitely tough to have. Which 0-1 starter has the best chance of going to the last place game? The best chance of going to the last place game. Okay.
Was it Chase?
One person voted for Trevor.
Wow.
One person voted for Kyle.
Yep.
2 people voted for Kevin, and 3 people voted for Chase.
Chase had a horrible start to the season. I want to go back to the first podcast, but there's got to be so many points where we're saying, oh, Chase's team really sucks. I don't see anything good coming out of Chase's team. Yikes for Chase. 2 comes in a row. But yeah, it shows us to doubt Chase for 2 seasons in a row.
Charity, can you give me my Christmas hat? Wherever it is. I think it's over there somewhere.
Yeah, 76 points. Wow, started Dak week 1. I didn't realize that. 6 points.
Yeah, it was it's wild that you go back and look because we don't really do that often. That everyone thought Chase will be in the come game, I think. I mean, it's early, so anything can happen, but that's what we initially thought, and now we're talking about him probably being the favorite to win it all. And even that, Kevin, I voted Kevin. I did not like his team. He was the second most votes, and he's also solidified. The 2 least votes are in the come game. Wild. Absolutely wild. All right, and which 1-0 starter has the best chance of winning it all? No votes for me. No votes for Jack. 2 votes for Teddy, and 5 votes for Binks-a-lot.
Binky,
I voted Binky. He was hot early. He still made it into the playoffs. Actually, wait. We all did. Every 1-0 starter made it into the playoffs.
Week 1 is huge.
Should have just called it then.
And then which 0-1 starter has the best chance of winning it all? 1 person said Trevor. 1 person said Kevin. 2 people said Chase. Those people are geniuses. 3 people said Kyle.
Wow.
Solidified in the come game. Everyone loved Kyle's running backs. Like we've harped on it probably more than anything else on this podcast.
They should be amazing.
Should be unreal. Like even as wide receivers, they're young but great. Olave and Devonta Smith, but they just haven't performed as well as we thought. Do you guys remember what you voted at all? I should have prepped.
No idea.
I probably voted myself. Week 1, Josh Allen, 11 points, by far his lowest.
Against the Jets, right?
Yeah, I think he had 4 picks.
Yeah.
3 picks.
And then this is the last one that I have. Which 1-0 starter has the best chance of going to the last place game? 1 person said you, Teddy. 1 person said Monty. 2 people said me. And 3 said Jack. We couldn't have been more wrong. We couldn't have been more wrong on any of these.
Shows you what we
missed
knew.
On everything. Jack solidified the bye week. Wild stuff. Well, that is all that I have. So thank you.
I mean, week 1, Jacks.
Oh, wait, do you have more stuff?
No, keep going. Do
you have more stuff, Trevor? Week 1?
RJ, keep going.
I was just going to say, week 1, Jack's team, besides his quarterback and Tyreek, didn't have any players score over 12 points.
Jesus.
Is that all you got, Trev?
Yeah.
All right,
that concludes the poll section. I think that was
good.
a great
That's good. I
section.
think that's it for the podcast. See you guys.
Thank you guys for watching. It's been
That's Santa.
Welcome. Hello. And I am here as the ASICS Sportsbook representative to wish everyone a jolly holidays. And I have a giveaway for everyone.
Whoa.
We have a spin of the wheel. Hold on. I'm going to take RJ's computer and spin this wheel. So we are going to do, let me share my screen. Hold on. Is it sharing? Give me a second.
There we go. There we go.
Okay. We are going to spin this wheel.
What the fuck is this wheel? Why is my name so big?
Why is it only those?
So the
Where's
wheel,
Kyle?
the spin of this wheel is for a $20 gift card to Starbucks and a $20 free bet on the sports book for the playoffs. You can use it anytime.
Wait. What's it for?
Is this based on how much you've put into the sports book?
Yeah, it's got to be.
And you guessed it, the percentage of the wheel is based on the percentage of money that you put into the sports book.
Let's go. What's it for?
The winner of this will receive a $20 gift card to Starbucks, and you also receive a $20 free bet for a future sportsbook bet, which there are some stipulations. The bet will be only used on individual games. They will not be used on potential futures that odds will be coming out, that the sportsbook will be coming out with odds on. It'll be individual games. So there's a $20 free bet, and you will be emailed a $20 Starbucks gift card.
Fuck yeah.
So can you guys see the screen all right? I've yet to run the wheel at all.
Mm-hmm.
So should we just do one spin, or should we build
one spin?
One spin. Okay, I've yet.
Wait, what's the other option?
I was just gonna spin it like 5 times. Okay, I've yet to spin it. Are you guys ready for it to be spun?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I said, this is based on percentage of money that has been put into the sports book. Do you guys want to know the amount of money that has been bet on this sports book, or should that not be disclosed?
Oh, please.
I'd love to know.
We are at $490 have been gambled in this sports book. Do you want to know the percentages that you guys are at I
look pretty damn close to 50.
You are correct at 46.94% of the money you have gambled.
And I haven't been winning very many of them.
Kevin is, why do you think the sportsbook is doing this giveaway? Kevin is at 36.73%. We have Binksalot at 12.24%. Chase at 3.06%. And Teddy at a measly 1.02% of the bet.
I swear to God, if this wheel lands on Teddy.
All right.
It'd be like someone having.
Go ahead.
It'd be like someone being last in the breakdown, but still in the playoffs. That's what that's what that would be like.
Yeah, it would.
I can't wait. Please, Santa, spin the wheel.
Right. So this is the last thing that we have.
Come on, baby. Come on.
Oh my God.
Are you kidding me?
Congratulations.
I'm in a meeting. I need to make sure I'm on mute.
You are gifted a $20 free bet as well to on a playoff game of your choice, but it has to be an individual game, not a potential future bet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Live reaction. What do you have to say?
Is this camera on in the meeting?
I think that my meeting just ended.
Oh.
They said, is he getting on a podcast right now? What the fuck?
He's speechless.
What? I got a $20 gift card and a free bet?
$20 free bet.
Why?
I can't win fucking anything, man.
Oh my God. Wow.
Congratulations to Kevin on this one.
Wow. That is wild.
Whew.
Good for him. Wow. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and send him the Not a single person asked why I didn't ask for their email, or why I asked for their email.
Wow, that's great.
I don't know if that's the right card.
That is great. That was exceptional.
Yeah.
That was exceptional.
Very exciting. Very disappointing, like normal. Very fitting.
Wow. Thank you, ASIC Sportsbook Santa. Thanks, was
Santa.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I think this was a great episode. Definitely, I think this one might have broken last week's record for longest podcast. We've got another longest podcast. We've been recording for an hour and 45 minutes. I want to say, as always, thank you for listening to the Zionsville Football Fantasy Football League Fantasy Football Podcast. Make sure to get those bets in the sports book. Even if you have a pointless game, you can still win in the sports book. Get them in before the Thursday night game. Be sure to follow us on all social at ZFFFLFF Pod. I hear from our marketing team, we're working on a Twitch channel to work on broadcasting games and getting ready for that off-season content. As always, thanks for watching, listening, and as always, fuck you, Trevor!